So Marco, Fran, really good to see you both.
Good morning. Hi, everybody.
Hey, so Marco, I think we were going to kick things off. We're going to be talking about the non-locking range of Camp Carabiners. But do you want to tell us a bit about the brand to begin with? I mean, it's been around in the UK for a long time now, but it's just I think this year it sounds like it's going to become a more prevalent brand amongst our market. So if you could give us a bit of an introduction, that'd be great.
Yes, Camp is an Italian manufacturer of climbing gears and mountaineering gears. We are based in the north of Italy, and the company has been founded in 1889. So it is we do have more than 130 years of story, and we cover a number of categories into from mountaineering to climbing, sport climbing, and including, of course, carabiners, which is one of the main categories that we cover at camp.
And on the non-locking side of things, you've got a broad range. And I remember the Nano coming out years ago because it represented like one of the first of these super light, but actually impressively usable carabiners. And I guess that's just one of several within the range that we're going to talk about today.
Yes, exactly. So when we speak about no-locking carabiners, the first carabiner that is in of climbers is the Nano, because it's a very popular racking carabiner, especially for camps or for camps. And but we have a number of other carabiners like the Orbit or the Photon wire, and ultimately the Dion. We can go through the line and point out the main features of those carabiners.
That'd be great. Where do you want to start off?
If you agree, we can start with the Nano. So Nano is actually the smallest carabiner in our range. Also, the lightest is 22 grams, but it's still very functional for racking camps. And it's our best-selling carabiner for racking. It comes in the 6 colors of the most common colors of the camps we have in the market. Then definitively we have the Photon wire, which is the lightest full-size wire gate carabiners on the market. It's only weight 30 grams, and it features a very wide and big opening because it's 26 millimeters gate opening. So this is a great choice for racking again, or we have of course sold pictures coming in with these carabiners, and especially also for mixed and winter climbing use because of the biggest size. It's maybe more comfortable to be used with gloves than a Nano carabiner.
I mean, it's interesting how carabiners have evolved over the years, because I remember when I first saw the Nano, I remember thinking they're too small, that no one's ever going to use them, and they must be really awkward. And now my rack is filled with small carabiners, so nano-sized carabiners, and you just get used to them.
I'm absolutely agree. I mean, when I also started climbing, I thought that Nano were way too small for climbing, for clipping ropes or racking camps. But at the end, you can literally cut a lot of weight on kilos on your harness, because when you go out climbing, tread climbing especially, you might have 10 to 15 quick draws and 10 cams. And if you count, you can probably have 30, 40 carabiners. And if you start cutting even just 7 grams per carabiner, it makes a difference. So I think it makes sense to cut down the weight until you have a proper size of carabiner. So we consider at camp that the size of the Nano is actually the correct size for a small carabiner. It has a 21 millimeters gate opening, so it's still a comfortable size and enough for 2 ropes, for example, for trade climbing. And at 22 grams, we really think that it's the lightest functional carabiner on the market.
I think I remember comparing the Nano to my first ever set of quick draws and realizing that I could quite literally carry double the amount of quick draws in the Nano to what I could in my initial set of quick draws. So that'd be like carrying 24 Nanos was the same weight as 12 of my first quick draws. Fran, I don't know whether you want to add anything from a UK perspective as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting from a UK perspective. I mean, first on the history of camp in the UK, we do, or camp have done in the UK, a lot of business with outdoor centres, with professional users and so on and so forth. And until a couple of years ago, that was very, very much the focus in the UK. So most UK climbers know about camp, but perhaps have always had a perception of them as being sort of fairly Billy Basic stuff. And what we're trying now to do is roll camp out to a much, much wider audience. And as I say, the carabiner story is so is so pertinent to UK climbers, especially UK trad climbers. And talking about the Nano, for example, I was blown away when Marco shared with me the figures of how many Nanos are sold in the USA, and I think that's really interesting, because when you actually look at reviews of things like the Nano on USA websites, things like weightmygear.com, etc., you've got really, really broad consensus that the Nano is a fantastic compromise between something which is super, super light, but something which is very, very usable. I mean, the Nano is a great trad carabiner. You can actually get a clove hitch into a Nano with a single rope, and it just cuts down weight significantly. And if you're going out on a big American route, a long trad route or an aid route, you might be carrying 40 odd carabiners. And so obviously to be able to save best part of 20 grams per carabiner makes an enormous difference. The thing about the Nano also is that what we see a lot of people do is combining them with the with a photon, because if there's any if I had any criticism of the Nano, it would be that it's not, obviously it's not as easy to clip than as a photon or a Dion, just simply because it's smaller. But you can still cut down masses of weight off your rack by having the Nano at the gear end, and as Marco suggests, the photon at the rope end. In fact, actually, Camp actually do a carabiner combo, which they call the Mac, which is which is what we might call an alpine piece, which has got the 60 centimeter spectrum dyneema with a Nano at one end and the photon at the other. And I think, as we develop our market in the UK, we'll probably look at doing a combination of this with an 11 and an 8 centimeter dyneema as well, because obviously the 60 centimeter is absolutely fantastic if you're going to carry a couple on your harness for setting up those belays at the top of standards or what have you. But for actual, longer trad climbing in the lakes and so on, where you might be carrying a load of them, then obviously a dog bone dyneema and an 11 or an 18 would make good sense. But yeah, a really, really good little carabiner. And in the UK, coming in at a really excellent price as well. So we've got these coming in. Oh, I just checked my price list. £8 is what a Nano costs in the UK. And also they come in rack packs as well, packs of six colours, which are obviously we're unashamed to do that, because they match up with cams which are available from other companies. But yeah, it makes a great combination. The Nano on its own or combined with a photon is a great UK piece of kit.
I guess the nice thing across here is that you have choice in terms of size. And I'm aware that maybe going back to Marco, we've got 2 more carabiners to run through as well.
Yes, exactly. So beside the super light carabiners, we have then the Orbit, which is our best-selling carabiner in terms of quick draws. And it came in the wire gate version or the solid gate version. And that's our most popular carabiner in terms of volumes. But then speaking about specialties or unique features, we have the Dion. So the Dion is our wire gate snag-free carabiner. So it has a clean nose, but with a wire gate. So it's our solution. And if we compare it with other similar products on the market, the main difference is given by the fact that the nose, it's much smaller in terms of dimensions. So I don't know if you can see from the camera, but it has the solution to have a clean nose is basically on the gate side. So the nose, it's very small, so it's useful and great when clipping small pitons or small slings in the mountains. And the weight, because it weighs only 33 grams, so it's basically just 3 grams more than his brother, the Photon, but with a clean nose. And it has 11 kilonewton at open gate, so it's a pretty strong carabiner. And in this, as for the nanos and the Photon wire, it came also in the rack pack with the 6 colors for racking, and in different versions for as a quick draw. So mixed with Photon or just with the Dyons.
And I guess this represents this is like the premium, the top of the line, isn't it? Because of the technology that you've got to use to make this. It's a harder product to construct, isn't it?
Yes, it's so we have been working on this carabiner quite a long time, and at the end we decided we patented the system that we have on the lever side. So it's made with MIM, so metal injection molding technology. So basically, the metal is made it's kind of powder, and then it's injected. So with this technology, you can build with molding technology very precise dimensions and pieces, and we combined these with the classical wire gate, and that's basically the Dion. So it's absolutely our best carabiner in terms of quick draws and racking carabiner.
And it's interesting you've managed to make the head so narrow, because one of the issues that a lot of brands have faced is when they've made a clean nose wire gate, because it's all got to be internal within the nose has ended up so big that, as you say, clipping, say for instance, it could be pitons or other, in situ gear, or even wires and, the such like, can be quite awkward with them.
Yeah, so basically we look at the problem from the opposite side. Instead of having the solution on the nose, we have the solution, let's say, for a clean nose on the gate. So we saved weight, because 33 grams is actually lighter than any other wire clean nose carabiner. And we also have a much thinner and smaller nose.
Cool. Thanks to both of you for joining us, and we'll catch up very shortly on locking carabiners.
Thank you very much.